Hey guys, and welcome back for another exciting look back at gaming history. Today we're going to talk about something a little different. For one, we're going to be making our leap into the 16-bit arena! But don't worry, there's still plenty of fun to be had on that little gray box that started it all, and we're going to take another glance at that in the next episode. Right now, I want to take some time to talk about something a lot of people don't really remember, and that something holds a very special place in my heart. And I see a lot of newer consoles trying to replicate it, but not really getting it right. And it all started with an idea, a really weird looking cartridge, and a cable service. We're going to be going over the history of the SEGA Channel! From the beginning of gaming, gamers have only wanted one thing: more games. I was and always will be a diehard Nintendo fan, but around 1996, I saw in person what I only heard rumors about. You see, we had a Super Nintendo at home, and we've been playing on that for years, but in the early 90s, me and my brother got our very own SEGA Genesis. We had a few games here and there. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and Mortal Kombat were probably two of our favorite games, and we also rented a ton of games. That was the thing to do on weekends. You would go rent a couple movies and a game, and that was your weekend. On Monday morning, you'd be talking to your friends about what they rented and what games you got. Well, that all changed one random weekday when me and my brother came home, and to our amazement, it was just waiting for us. My parents had gotten the SEGA Channel hooked up while we were at school. To make this even better, I can honestly say I had maybe heard one or two kids talking about SEGA Channel in my life, and I thought they were just talking shit. There was no way you could play hundreds of games on one cartridge. My tiny little mind could not process it all, so it was quickly dismissed. But here it was, in my living room, a weird looking cartridge with the fucking coaxial cable and a power cord coming out of the back of it, slammed into the top of my Genesis. This odd and maybe a little too big cartridge had its own power light and a menu button. Needless to say, my mind was fucking blown. Every month you could play a ton of games, and every month it would change them out. You didn't get every game you always wanted, but damn were there options. I remember falling in love with games that I had never heard of before, like Kid Chameleon and Toe Jam and Earl. There were sections for sports games, adventure games, platformers, anything you wanted. Some games were even exclusive to the SEGA Channel. If you had one of these, you know the menu song by heart. I remember turning on the console, watching Sonic run across, jump and hit the power button, the dude comes down the wire right into my SEGA Genesis. That shit got me so fucking amped when I was a little kid. SEGA was always ahead of the curve if you ask me, and this is another prime example. Think about it. This was an online streaming service in 1994. Most people didn't even know what the internet was in 1994. The price was right too. After the initial $25 for the cartridge itself, just $15 a month for 50 plus games a month? And then they'd change it out every month, but they'd still keep around the favorite games that people were playing. The only downside to SEGA Channel was its lack of memory. You could not really save the games. The game would let you save if the feature was available, but due to the memory relying on RAM when the unit was powered off, so were all your saves. Another fun fact about this little powerhouse is that many cable companies had to clean their lines up for it to run properly. This means people subscribed to the same cable service that the SEGA Channel was offered for had infinitely better picture and audio quality in their cable boxes. SEGA Channel is another big reason why we have high-speed internet today. Sadly, the world did not share my enthusiasm with the SEGA Channel. Many people saw the Genesis as a dying console, as the Saturn was already out along with the Nintendo 64 and PlayStation around the end of the SEGA Channel's lifespan. In early 1995, SEGA decided to end all development on the Genesis's add-ons and put all of their support towards the Saturn, which was basically a death sentence for the SEGA Channel. Somehow, the SEGA Channel managed to keep going and pushed on through until July 31st, 1998. And just like that, it was all over. I will say, by 1998, I had a better console, and my parents had stopped paying for SEGA Channel in 1997, I think. But we'd gotten a Sega Saturn, so we were more focused on getting games for the newer system. Looking back, Sega really was ahead of their time, and it's truly a shame that they're reduced to making only software now. I, for one, would love to see Sega get back into the console race, but it really is looking like the last console Sega would ever produce would be the Dreamcast. Another system leaps and bounds ahead of its time, but it's gonna have to be saved for another story. Until then, keep gaming and keep creating!